When I woke up this morning, I kept thinking about something that I didn't realize. 2 days ago, we released the Drifting Loop project. It's a short dance film. Once in a while, we release short dance film. The first one ever that we did was 7 years ago, also in April. It was in 2013 and it was called LightSpin. And what I found really interesting this morning is that the process was the total opposite of what we did for this new. Don't touch your face, don't touch your face. For LightSpin, I had only 24 cameras, and each frame was taking me 2 seconds to make, and a full animation could take somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes for only a 5 to 10 seconds playback. So it was taking me a long time just to create a single shot, and it took me a month. I saw 25 dancers, I think, for this project. And the edit of this one was a pain because I think it was 500,000 frames total. So it was very complicated. It's still my most ambitious project to this date, and it was my first one. I learned to make videos with LightSpin back in the days. But for the Drifting Loop, it was the total opposite. It's years of preparation, testing, trials and error, to go to that point where I press the button. We took only 10 seconds to make the sequence, to capture Kim's movement, and the result was twice longer, so the opposite of LightSpin. So 10 seconds to capture and about 44 seconds for the playback. So I thought it was interesting to mention. And also, since I released that, I got a few questions. Which cameras are those? Canon SL1. So yes, it's a very old model, but it's still very old really well, because think about it. As I'm taking pictures, I'm not filming. So yes, it's a movie in the end, but each camera is taking a picture. I'm not filming. So I can shoot in RAW. And I have 5K resolution, that's 5,000 pixels wide. So it's more than enough for what I need for these projects. And the lens I'm using is the kit lens, 18-55. I also have the Pancake 24, which looks very good, but I don't have enough to make a full 360. And anyway, I need to shoot very wide for this kind of projects. How do you sync all of them? Okay, so the syncing for the settings themselves from the computer, I can tap on the settings. So the way we did it, it's like the back of a Canon camera. You can touch, change the ISO, the f-stop, etc. So it's very simple. When I change the settings from the computer, all the cameras are updated within a fraction of a second. So it's very efficient. But about the triggering itself, so it goes from my gamepad wireless to the main computer. The main computer sends a signal to the Raspberry Pis by network cables all around the rig. We have 4 cameras per Raspberry Pis, and then for each Pi we have USB cables that go to the camera. So the cameras themselves have only 2 cables, the USB and the power. I'm not using the trigger port, so everything is made by USB only. And what's managing all of that is our Palatine software, X-Angle camera server. How long did it take to process this video? So to download all the files, it probably took somewhere between 3 and 8 minutes. I'm not sure, because we did this one and we went to do something else, and we rarely shoot that many pictures. 6 iterations, 1056 frames is a lot of data. Actually, it's nearly a terabyte. So it took a long time just to download. Once we have all the files on the main computer, then it's probably under a minute for that number of images, and that processing time is mostly about the digital calibration and the creation of the MP4 file. And then for the post-processing itself, it just took me a few minutes. I sent the files through Lightroom for the color grading. I can do that in Premiere, but I prefer to edit my images in Lightroom, mostly because I can start from the JPEG files that are better quality than the MP4 itself. How are you able to afford that many cameras? It took me 9 years to get there, just through various projects. This is my main business. This is what I do. So I have tons of cameras for 3D scanning, for bullet time projects where we do either music videos, we shoot for movies. So this is what I do. We also go on tour with the cameras sometimes, like this one in China, this one in Dubai, and this one in San Diego. Is it all yours? Yes, that's my company, my cameras, the studios where we operate all these things in Montreal. What were the settings for the cameras? Yeah, I forgot, I wanted to add that to the behind the scenes video that was released yesterday, but I forgot. So, f3.5, 160 of a second, and ISO 1600. That's the right balance to get that kind of images. My white balance was at daylight, and I didn't get asked about that, but the lights that I have in the inner part of the rig are simple LED bars, LED tubes, just like those. Oh, you don't see them, right? They're not in the frame, Eric. They're not in the frame. No one can see them. Minou? Okay, that's it for this one. It's time to go to bed.